Hi, I'm Jaqueline P'ng and you're joining me on the HTV Evening Highlights. OneMDB has moved to debunk a report that said its restructuring deal with an Abu Dhabi state enterprise could be off the table. According to Singapore's Business Times, the International Petroleum Investment Co, or IPIC, is reconsidering its plan to help the state fund cut its debts by 16 billion ringgit. The Daily said it was unclear what led IPIC to rethink the deal, though it did cite a report in the Gulf of Times. The Qatar-based paper reported over the weekend of growing unease in the Middle East as the Saudi government is reportedly not amused about making it into the headlines in the OneMDB scandal. OneMDB, however, maintains that the deal is still very much in the works. It says it remains engaged in talks with IPIC to conclude the transaction and that the Business Times report has no grounding in the facts. The country's newly formed Special Economic Committee counts some pretty big names among its members, including the PM's own brother, Datuk Nazir Razak. The banker is among the 10 members of the panel tasked with finding ways to strengthen the country's economic fundamentals. At the helm is Minister in the Prime Minister's Department and former Maybank CEO Datuk Sri Wahid Omar. Also in the team, aside from Nazir, Khazanah National's chairman Tan Sri Azman Mokhtar and his deputy Tan Sri Noor Mohamed Yaakob, Maybank CEO Datuk Sri Farid Alias and UKM Vice-Chancellor Professor Dato Dr. Noor Azlan Ghazali. They will report to the Prime Minister once a week and will function in the short term until global economy stabilizes. The committee is expected to convene its first meeting next week. Sime Darby has cut its previous forecast for CPO prices. It now sees the commodity averaging between 1,900 ringgit and 2,000 ringgit per tonne until September. 4 months ago, Sime Darby said it expected the commodity to trade between 2,200 ringgit and 2,400 ringgit until the end of the year.
There's an interplay of so many factors, and made worse by what's happening in the equity market and currency market, So it's a potpourri of bad news.
Currently, the Malaysian benchmark CPO price stands at 1,888 ringgit per tonne. Baki was speaking to the press after Sime Darby announced its net profit for financial year 2015 fell 31%. This is due to lower profits from most business segments due to bearish commodity prices and difficult market conditions. Refined sugar producer MSM Malaysia Holding is enjoying the sweet victory of lower raw sugar prices, but the discount isn't enough to offset the impact of the falling ringgit. The company says the bulk of its imported raw sugar is transacted in US dollars. And while raw sugar prices have come down by about 13% in the past 1 year, the ringgit has weakened by some 23%.
I would expect the world raw sugar price to come down further in the next couple of months. To what extent is nobody's guess, but I think we should be looking at about in the high 9 cents per pound.
He was met after signing an agreement in relation with the group's third refinery in Johor today. The new plant will be Malaysia's largest sugar refinery. The economy is staggering under an onslaught of bad news, from the weak ringgit to the country's high external debt. So it's little surprise that the R word, recession that is being whispered around water coolers and coffee shops. Businesses, for one, are curbing their enthusiasm and they're going to continue being less upbeat until 2016. According to a recent survey by Dun & Bradstreet, business optimism in Malaysia hit a historical low this quarter. This was a drop of 13% year-on-year. Despite all the headwinds, the data service provider says Malaysia is not in for recession anytime soon.
A recession is not part of our baseline scenario. I would say that the risks of a recession have increased. The economy is certainly facing many headwinds at the moment. We see growth at 4.8 this year, so slower than last year, but definitely a far cry from a recession. And we expect growth to return to above 6% in 2016.
Malaysia last experienced a major recession during the financial crisis of 1998. That's when the ringgit hit an all-time high of 4.73 against the dollar. And that's all we have for the HTV Evening Highlights. I'm Jaqueline P'ng. Thank you for watching.